Welcome back to my channel, folks. Just let me tell you, wherever you are, no matter what city you're in, once you're registered, you have all your documents, go ahead and click on the driver tab on your Uber app. Because why? You can get a request. Once you get a request, once you get a request, no telling where you're going. So I put on my request, and a few minutes later, I got a bing. So I got a request to pick up this girl. She lives down the street from my house, and she's Korean. And I just want to let you know that it felt good to actually meet her and get to know the kind of personality that she has as a young student. So let me just say, she is going to the Beyonce concert. And I said, really? She said, yeah, that's where I'm going, to the Rose Bowl. I said, oh, okay. So I wanted to make sure I had the directions. So I went back to the house, picked up my paperwork, because I didn't plan on going out there. Actually, I didn't really know. And I just know that Uber has sent out an email so that we go to certain parts to actually pick people up if I was to stay in the vicinity of Pasadena. But after I dropped her off, I was able to get me a shirt. So let me just model it for you. It says Beyonce, and it has her tour on it. So, and when I told other people throughout the day, they were like, what? We didn't know Beyonce had a concert today. I said, yeah, I didn't know either. They said, we thought it was in September. So I guess they made a surprise concert. Um, oh my gosh. So as I was leaving, I was able to grab me up a shirt, and as I was driving off, I was like, ooh, I'm glad for that Waze app, because it take me to it, drop her off, and then I was able to leave. And when I was getting back on the freeway going down to the 110, that freeway was packed of people getting off on Orange Drive to go up to the Rose Bowl. So that was pretty good to know. So after I turned the app off so I can come back into the city, I would call it LA area, and I was able to receive another request off of Pico and West Boulevard, and I dropped them off the Rampart area. It was an Asian girl. She was going to I don't know where she was going. I can't remember. Oh, I think she was going to a restaurant. So then I received another request off of Wilshire, Vermont, and I picked up, oh, this time instead of an Uber XL, I got a pool, which usually means they want to be in the car by themselves. That's what I noticed. So I dropped her off at a Thai restaurant off of Western Hollywood Boulevard, and I never realized that area up there said Thai, little Thailand, like, that's cute. So after I left that area, then I received another request. I actually came back home, but the whole time I had the app on, I didn't get any requests. So then I got back home to my area off of Oxford Square area, actually. Then I received another request off of Norton. So I go over there, and like on the Lyft app, it gives you a 2-minute waiting period. So if you want to wait for the people for 2 minutes, if they don't come, then you turn it off, or you cancel out your request, and then that way you can move on to the next person if they take too long for you to be waiting around. So I received the request. I waited for the lady. She came out with her bag, and I said right there, oh, she must be going to the airport. Sure enough, she was going to the LAX. So I took her out there, dropped her off. Once I got out there in that area and I left the airport, I turned the app off because I don't want to get no more requests. I hate having to drive up, really, up throughout all that little traffic up there. People just don't pay attention to what they're doing out there. So then I received, oh, by the way, she was a black lady, and she was going to Dallas, Texas. She said to go do some work. So That was nice. She has a job that she can actually go traveling different cities and stuff. So, but she wasn't very talkative. She was on her phone, and after I asked, a few questions, I didn't even ask her about how long she's been using Uber. I just figured, hey, she's kind of quiet, so I'm gonna leave her alone. I'm not gonna ask her no more questions. But when you tend to go in different areas, or music tends to come on different stations, and they happen to play a Snoop Dogg, I always tell folks that my brother's a backup singer, and they're like, oh, okay. That was basically it, and then I continued going to the airport. So after I dropped her off, I turned the app off, and then I was driving down La Cienega, and I said, hey, why don't I go over to the Ladera Center? Maybe I'll get some requests over there because it's a shopping center. People maybe need some help with their groceries from the market, or maybe they didn't have too much to drink at Fridays and Starbucks and they want, to get a ride. But I wound up just getting me some food, having like a 30-minute break, eating my chicken fries from Burger King and fries and my Dr. Pepper. Then I turned the app back on. Once I got down La Cienega off of Washington, I received another request, picked up this Caucasian male, dropped him off in the Fairfax and Airdrome area. He was pretty cool and talkative, so that was good. I didn't feel like I was talking too much. Then after I dropped him off, I picked up this other Caucasian man from the Fairfax and Olympic area, dropped him off in Beverly Hills. And the funny thing about that was we were talking, and he said he was going to Beverly Hills, and he goes, I don't know if you know or if you're familiar with that area. And I said, yeah, I'm familiar with it. I went to Beverly Hills High School for summer school. And then he started asking me about what the school looked like in inside because he'd never been there. Well, actually, it's been like 30 years. I don't remember what it looks like either. He just asked me how did I like the school, and I said, well, I loved it. I met new friends, and I took illustration, which was an art class. And he was like, oh, okay. He said, yeah, they're having some issues with building a train to go underneath the school. I said, really? That's kind of weird to go underneath the school. He said, yeah, they're having issues about that. I said, well, the other train is opening up on May 20th, the Metro Expo train. And he was like, oh, okay, thank you. So now I can check that out. And on the way to drop him off, I asked him, since he said he enjoys walking, I said, have you ever thought about walking in a cyclovia? He said, what is that? I said, that's where they close off the streets off Venice and you could walk or ride your bike or skateboard or something like that. He said, oh, I never heard of that. I said, yeah, they have it every year. I said, as a matter of fact, they'll probably have another one in June. And he was like, all right, thank you. I'll check that out. He said, I've gotten low scores. Could you give me a 5? I said, no problem. You seem like a good person. And he said, thank you. I'm going to give you a 5 too. So thank you. So after I left Beverly Hills, let me see, where did I go? So much to do. So after I left Beverly Hills, I received a request because I was still in Beverly Hills area. I picked up these 3 guys. I couldn't tell the nationality, but it looked like they might have been Armenian. Not sure, but they're pretty funny. One guy got in the front, 2 guys got in the back, and the first thing they asked me was, "How long have I been?" No, they asked me. What did they ask me? Oh, they asked me if I ever got a ticket, and I said, "What?" I said, "Yeah." And then they asked me some other stuff about my job that I can't talk about on here. So, but anyway, so I dropped them off at a restaurant called Lola's, which is off of Fairfax. And when I checked it out to see what it was a restaurant and bar, so that was pretty cool. So I dropped them off, and as soon as I left, I got another request. And I was like, wait a minute, that address looks familiar, and that happened to be the same place I just dropped the guys off. So I went around the corner, came back, and this guy says, didn't you just drop somebody else off? I said, yeah, I just dropped some folks off. He said, wow, that was fast. I said, I just drove around the corner. So I picked up these two couples and wind up. They had asked me to go to the liquor store. So of course, since they're paying for the time, why not go to the store? So I went to the store, bought some gum, and He offered me some, so I don't know. I guess he was telling me my breath stink. But it was juicy fruit, and I didn't even know they still made juicy fruit from back in the 70s and 80s. So sure enough, they did. So I dropped them off at a restaurant called Le Jardin. Now, the funny thing was about that is that must be a popular place in Hollywood, right off of Vine and Hollywood Boulevard. So I just was kind of curious to see what kind of place it was. So I checked up online, and it actually says they have good music going on. You know, they have great personality of people that work there, and it's a good place. And it's kind of pricey. I don't know how much it was, but once you go into Yelp, it has $3 signs, so that'll tell you. I don't know, maybe it's $100 to get in. I don't know, but it seemed like they're about to go party on. So that was pretty cool. And then I was leaving the Hollywood area coming back towards the house, and then I received another request. Now, when I got a request, it was at an address, and it just so happened I happened to be driving down the street, and there was people in front of me. It was like an event going on. So I just happened to stop, and the guy who requested the ride, he actually knew who I was because on the app it has my picture and it has the kind of car I'm driving, so you know what to expect and who to look for when you're out in the streets, even at night, to see who you're looking for. So he's waving his phone, you know, like so. Like, here I am. So he comes across, I throw on my hazard lights, and I said, was that a party? He said, no, actually it was a movie screening. I said, oh, okay, okay. I said, is that a cemetery? He said, yeah, they have it every summer. I'm like, wow, a cemetery showing movies at Santa Monica area. I don't know. I think that was off of Western. I'm not even sure. So anyway, after he gets in the car, so we're driving, and what I try to do is once I put in the navigation to where we're going, I kind of get an idea of maybe where how far I'm going to drive. So I said, once I seen Crescent Heights, I said, are we going up in the mountains? And he said yes. So I just kind of like got a little scared because a month ago I was taking this, I was actually going to find somebody. It was in the daytime, and I was going like somewhere off of Vermont. And once you go up so far up in the mountains by the Hollywood sign, your phone gets no signal up there, and that's at nighttime. And I don't like being in places that look scary to me. And up there, you're going up in these hills, and the streets are so small. It's like barely enough room for one car to go up, but let alone there's two cars, one coming down and one going up. And then the streets were saying dead end. So I'm just praying at this point, like, I hope this man is not going to, you know what. So we get up to his house. I drop him off. Oh my gosh, he has a beautiful house. It's got to be at least a million or even more, maybe 2 or 3 million. I don't know. But once again, thanks again for checking me out. Once I finished that drive, I turned the app off, came back down to the city, went to my house, and that's it. Thanks again for checking me out. Like my page, leave a comment. If you have any questions, share on your social media. And if you're interested in being a driver, I put the link down below. If you're interested in being a passenger, probably not to my car, but to someone else's car, and you get $50 off a free ride. So who knows, you might want to use this more often instead of renting a car. All right, thank you. And I've been drinking. I've been drinking. Oh, wait, this is rose lemonade. Not lemonade. And once again, I'm your friendly neighborhood Uber driver.